Okay, just sitting here drinking my second cup of coffee, choking down some food, and dreading getting going again. So yes, it does look like I'm going to have like 3 days of road walking, which I'm not really looking forward to over much. Yes, it does look like it's going to rain today, which will make it even more pleasant. But on the plus side, there is a IAT New Brunswick trail angel. There seems to be just one. His name is Bill Miller. He has a canoe store. I guess he hand makes canoes right along the way, and I'm going to reach him tonight. I've already been put in contact with him by somebody else, and he's saying magical things like home cooked meal, Wi-Fi, and laundry. So I'm looking forward to saying hi to him tonight. I did have what sounded like some gunshots and somebody chopping down a tree with an axe off in the distance last night, but other than that, it was pretty quiet here. When I have reception, I've been going back and forth with Taters trying to figure out plans. Once again, once I get to Quebec, there are some trail closures. So at the moment, what I'm looking at is trying to jump ahead to the open sections and do those. I don't like, flipping, skipping, etc. But at this point, it's either do that or go home. And I wouldn't mind seeing at least, part of the Quebec section. I have plans to hopefully come back someday and do the entirety of the IAT over in like Ireland and Morocco and everything. So what that'll mean is I will need to be able to resupply pretty fully in Matapedia and then get a ride to basically mile 115 of the Quebec IAT, and then I'll have 130 miles straight going through there. Then jump off and then get a ride about 30 miles short of Cap Gaspe, try and do that. Finish at Cap Gaspe, and then try and figure out how the hell one gets back to Southern California from Cap Gaspe. The situation is a bit complicated because the SIA organization that kind of manages the IAT in that area, they're closing October 10th. So the support services they usually offer, those aren't available. Also, it just doesn't seem like many people do this end to end. So it's not, super straightforward. Fortunately, I've been put in contact with a couple of people who may be able to help me, and it does look like there is one shuttle service up there I may be able to use. And here I was packing up because I wanted to get out before the rain started. I thought I had until 1 p.m. or so. Turns out, nope, it is now raining tent sweat again. So this is that dirt road that I came down last night. There is a closed gate to prevent vehicles from coming in, but nothing about not coming back here, and per a local, it's all timberland where recreation is allowed when they're not logging actively. A fair amount of rain did come down while I was holding over that second cup of coffee. Figured I should filter. Allegedly the rain's gonna start in the afternoon. Well, heavy rain. Had another little rainstorm. Okay, so that place had a sign out saying hot food and coffee, and that is exactly what I needed after that rainstorm. Okay, so one hamburger and about 2/3 of a pot of coffee later, back on the move about 6 more miles till Bill Miller's. Huh, that's kind of striking. And welcome to Bill Miller and Mother's residence, the most famous, possibly only trail angel on the entirety of the IAT New Brunswick. He actually just dropped by in his truck, so he'll be coming back in a bit. Going to at least overnight here, maybe do laundry. Welcome to another wet, chilly morning. Okay, back on the road. So the gentleman that I stayed with's name is Bill Miller, and he runs Miller Canoes. Hand makes canoes, has been for a long, long time. He is also probably the best / only trail angel in New Brunswick. He is actually a waypoint on gut hooks, and everybody I have talked to in Maine and up here has been, oh, Bill Miller, you need to go talk with Bill Miller. So I was put in contact with him, and as it turned out, he was at the 20-mile mark for my day. So I stayed over. He was nice enough to make me dinner and breakfast and coffee. and I was able to do laundry, and now I am onwards towards Mount Carlton. He did unfortunately confirm that I am basically going to be on road for the rest of this, but it is what it is. At least it's not going to be the busiest. It is hunting season starting in a couple of days, but I'm not too worried being on the road. If they're firing at a neon man on the road, then maybe they shouldn't be hunting. So between Bill, the restaurant I found open in Riley Brook, and just making good time on the road, my plaster rock resupply should be more than I need to actually get to St. Quentin. I'm still struggling with the fact that my pack just feels wrong with the bigger sleeping bag. And also, I neglected when my parents sent me my other sleeping bag, which I'd stocked at their house before I left on this. Forgot to remind them to send the stuff sack. I'm a big believer in stuff sacks. It helps me pack and compress everything down. Right now, my sleeping bag is just jammed in the bottom of that, so I'm not able to pack things quite as tight. And while I do have a liner bag to keep everything dry, I find that water works its way in over time. So I like to have things like the sleeping bag that are kind of key safety in another layer of waterproofness. So ideally it'd be in at least a nylon stuff sack, if not DCF. It's not the end of the world if it gets a little wet, you know, it's just damp, but when it's down to 18 degrees, you kind of want every advantage you have. Last forecast I saw said it was going to be in the 39 to low 40s range, but per Bill's thermometer, it was 33 degrees this morning. I'm gonna have to start being careful with my Sawyer filter, I think. So apparently the reason why this trail is on the road instead of back in the woods isn't the lack of woods, it's just that the company that owns the timberland doesn't want the trail going through. And depending who you ask, it's because they don't want interference and rules as far as being able to cross the trail, or else they're clear cutting and they're spraying chemicals that they worry hikers would have a better view of, and then they'd have trouble. Per Bill, if you look at this area via Google satellite shots, you can see it's just clear cut all the way to the ocean. So the IAT is stuck on the road. So this isn't exactly unpleasant, but a little bit on the dull side, honestly. Okay, another day, another ditch. Filtered a couple liters of water, drank. I should have enough to get me to the end of the day. There is a visitor center up ahead, about 5 miles away. I may see if I can stick my head in there and maybe refill water. I'm going to try and make it past the 20-mile mark just because I want to make progress. I'm getting a little burned out on this road walk. So this is the Mount Carlton Park. I wasn't going to stop because, end of the day, I need to make miles. And then I decided to because, maybe they'd have sodas, and supposedly the rangers were friendly. Went in, no sodas, 2 kilometers away. I'm not walking 2 kilometers, but one of the rangers gave me a ride, so I got that and chips. But it took way longer than expected. Oh well, back on the road. A couple more miles, fill up water somewhere, find a secure place to stay. Honestly, 90% of the reason why I stopped there was I just wanted to talk to somebody. Since I've left Miller Canoe, nobody stopped. I've gotten waved at a couple of times, but all the cars and trucks and everything that have passed me, nobody's stopped to, ask what I'm doing, say hi, anything. See, I'm not happy when there's people everywhere, and then all of a sudden you stick me out here all alone, and I'm like, oh, I'm lonely. I want someone to talk to. Never happy. And wouldn't you know it, I've been staring at campsites all day, and it gets around time where I want one, and no good, I'm in a hillside. Okay, well, here we go again. Home sweet home and true stealth camping in the mighty nation of Canada. I ended up going into a section that seemed to have been cleared, so it didn't have as much of the big trees, and it's been harder to find something. I found an old road I almost camped on, but it was attached to what looked like an active-ish mining area, so home sweet home for the night. Hopefully nobody bothers me here. So other than the fact my tent barely fits, I actually feel fairly good about this one as far as stealth sites go. The road's quite a ways back, and this looks like trees were cut down a very, very long time ago, but I have no sign of anybody being back here. So it's only 4 something local time, but I can hear a logging operation happening in the general area. It's not super close, but I think I'm just gonna drink my coffee and get moving just out of precaution. Okay, well, that was an exciting way to start the morning. I don't actually know how close the logging effort was, but it was close enough to wake me up, and then getting closer for a while there. I started to throw everything together and get ready to get out of there quick, and then it moved away. But it's been going on basically all sides of me this morning. Figure it's kind of like death. You're not really sure, but closer than you're comfortable with. It also got down into the 30s again last night. You can see I'm bundled up. I've actually acquired a second pair of long johns at Fort Fairfield in anticipation of the cold. I don't really want to switch to pants because I don't know what size I am anymore. And there are various issues with being a sweaty person and wearing full-on pants. So I'm doing the tights and shorts. So that was a pretty good camp spot, other than potentially having a timber operation start on top of me. This trail keeps finding ways to throw me less and less, you know. So for the next 18 miles into St. Quentin, I am on the 180, which is apparently a bit of a busier road than what I've been on. After that, I'll still be on a road, but supposedly a little quieter. I am a little over halfway through New Brunswick at this point, and I have to say the roadwalks are getting to me a bit. I've had them in the past. I mean, they were long road walks, and the Florida Trail, the Pinhoti Trail, hell, Arizona road walks, better part of 200 miles on road. But at least there was something concrete to look forward to, you know, the next trail or towns or things like that. This has been just kind of dull, and I mean, there is the Quebec area to look forward to. But I'm probably going to be another 5 days or so just walking along roads. It also makes it harder to do these videos because even when I'm in the Green Tunnel or other places, there tends to be multiple times a day, you know, every hour or so, where I just go, oh, wow, that's a really cool view. And I get excited and I take video, and that's those little, you know, 2-second things that you get throughout. Well, you know, here it's just road, and not even especially scenic road. I've been doing videos this entire way, and obviously I'm not going to stop now, but it does get hard to be excited and you know, have much to share. It basically comes down to the occasional food stop and then the whole stealth camping struggles. See, it doesn't exactly evoke the joy of the outdoors, does it? Good news is, if the plans that Jen and I are currently working on come through, there will be about 156 miles in Quebec, which should be a little more scenic. Huh, I was wondering what that sign meant. Oh my God, at long last, I'm finally seeing a beaver. Blondie wanted to see one so badly. Oh my God, it's an actual hiker. Okay, so he was a former AT hiker, Energizer Turtle. He did it in 2019, and he's actually been through hiking, so he had come through Quebec. So you would think that he would be able to kind of clarify things and help me figure out what I can do and what I can't. Yes and no, I think he confused the crap out of things. So he was describing the various sections and, you know, where hunting is and where hunting isn't, and it sounds like it's even more complicated. Not to mention the 7 sections that Taters and I got from looking at the maps and talking to the SIA. Per him, it's even more complicated. He did let me know that 130-mile section that I'd been thinking I could hopefully do in 6 days, yeah, that is totally not going to work. He says the trail is like southern Maine, super steep ups and downs. So I'm going to have to figure out a food drop. He did say he may be able to help me out with that, because he's going to be finishing at the border, and then he'll be up in this area. So that might help things, because I think I can, the SIA does a food drop, but only until October 10th. He also said there are a whole lot of people who have been hiking up in Quebec because they can't go down into the States and do anything. So trails up there have just basically been flooded this year. So that might have been why I had a little bit of an odd reception from the SIA. He also made me feel a lot better about this upcoming section because I was basically picturing, you know, roads like this for the next 90 some miles. But he says, oh, no. St. Quentin, as soon as I get there, I'm back on ATV trails and it'll get better. He said he came across my videos way back in January when I was down in Florida. He also made me aware just how horribly I am butchering all of these names. And I do apologize. I barely speak English on a good day. French pronunciations, oh. Oh, that's something. I was out of water for a while. The last couple of creeks that were shown going across the road didn't seem to exist anymore due to all the cut trees and everything. So this is one of the frustrations of gut hooks. I mean, it's good to have the map and everything, but the waypoints don't mention anything. I think this ATV road will parallel 180, which is apparently what the IAT is on, and get me to St. Quentin. This is significantly more pleasant than walking on that shoulder. Yeah, so this is a lot nicer. Also, maple syrup production. See, I did learn something this trip. Oh well, not sure where it went from here. Okay, so that was about a 75-mile road walk. I'm beat. Tempted to go into town for 2 kilometers. So, onward to another stealth camp along an ATV road. We'll see how this goes. And then hopefully hotel it tomorrow, get some food. So yeah, depending who you listen to, apparently these snowmobile ATV trails would go the entire way. They're just not allowed to use those for the IAT. Much improved. So this is the evening water source, and I think I got a tent site I can use just up the hill. Should work for tonight. So I think I have a place to set up. I've got water. I'm actually just sitting here waiting because not only are there a bunch of ATVs running around, but I think I'm hearing gunfire in the location. I'm just really tired of this stealth camping crap, you know. I want to be back in the wilderness. Okay, seems like there was some sort of drag racing thing going on. I don't know if those pops were gunfire or what, but home sweet home for the night. That's the edge of a field up there, so hopefully nobody bothers me.